Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast. I am your host, Johanna Dahlman. And before we get into this interview that I have with a previous client who actually just finished the Hair and Heal program, she has an astounding story to share with you. She's Alopecia Universalis, and she saw hair growth in week 3, and she saw so much more changes. And so her story is brilliant. She's a young lady in her 20s, and she has a lot to offer and a lot to say. So I look forward to sharing that podcast with you. But before I do, I wanted to talk about a giveaway, and I haven't done a giveaway in a little bit. And so I wanted to go ahead and do this. And for those of you who are in the US or maybe even in Canada, Canadians just finished celebrating Thanksgiving, and the Americans will start to have their Thanksgiving here shortly within a month or so. And this fall in general is the kickoff to the holiday season for me. Particularly, I love the changing of the leaves. I love Christmas markets. I love Thanksgiving. I love Christmas. I love the holidays in general. Whatever that you choose to celebrate or not celebrate, it's just a beautiful time of year. I love the lights. I love the coziness. I love fireplaces. I love everything that goes along with this time of year. And because it is the end of the year and it's also close to my birthday, it always naturally for me becomes an opportunity to be grateful, to assess, to evaluate, to think and hope and set intentions and goals for what I want for the next year, but then also for what I want to accomplish. But then it also shines a spotlight on everything that I have already accomplished, or maybe things that I'm in the midst of accomplishing. And as you move forward, as I move forward, as we all move forward into the new year, I always like to reaccount, reassess, and look back at the year previous or at the current year initially, right? And just see how far we've come. And many times we don't take the opportunity to do this. Many times we're in this go hustle mode. And I find myself even in yoga, just like with the mind, where it's just like constantly speaking to me and it just doesn't rest. And sometimes maybe you feel this way and maybe you don't. Maybe you're able to zen out in yoga. Sometimes I'm not able to. And I'm just like, But in any case, the holidays are a fantastic season. So going back to the giveaway, I'm always on a tangent, but going back to the giveaway, I wanted to show my gratitude towards my listeners, which many of you are my Hair and Heal program attendees and participants, because I know that you love the encouragement, love the stories, love the success, love the inspiration, love the everything else that goes along with it, all the tidbits of extra info that may or may not be inside the program or maybe goes hand in hand. But in any case, for all of my podcast listeners, I wanted to show my gratitude and give away multiple gift cards. So it's open to everybody, wherever you live in the world. And I wanted to go ahead and do multiple raffles. And I want to raffle off maybe 10 different gift cards of various amounts, everything over $75 and up, and maybe up to $500. So happy to do that. Really want to share the gratitude and the joy of giving and giving back to the alopecia community, to those of you who are in the program or not even in the program, or just those of you who just listen and don't do anything but listen. But again, open to all my listeners. All you have to do is go to Apple Podcast, submit a review, screenshot it, and submit it. And your name and email will be entered into the raffle. And this way, I will be raffling off 10 of these gift cards in different denominations to wherever you'd like. If you want to Amazon, if you want to Costco, if you want to a specialty store, that's fine too. If you want to the movie theaters, that's fine too. Whatever you'd like, I'm happy to do that. And really excited to do this giveaway. Really excited to give money, right? Especially during the holiday season where extra cash is always great for presents or for loved ones, or even just for yourself. I know sometimes we always give to others before we give to ourselves, right? And this is a little challenging and a little hard. And it goes along with you need to fill your own cup before you can give to others out of your cup. And so I want to fill your cup. I want to provide you the massage or the extra outfit or whatever it is that you'd like or need or want. I'm happy to do that. So in any case, once again, all you have to do is rate and review our podcast on Apple Podcast, screenshot it, send it over to hello@alopeciaangel.com, and we will take in your name and your email address. And then we will enter your name and email address for this raffle. We will raffle off everything the week of Thanksgiving in the US, which is just about a month from now. It's November 23rd, 2023. And so you will have until November 23rd, 2023. We'll go ahead on Thanksgiving Day, do the raffle, and then we will let everyone know who won, and then get your address. And of course, give you the gift cards and go from there. But you have essentially 4 weeks starting from now. And I'm really excited to do this. I love giving away things, especially during the holidays, because it's such a beautiful time of year. It's a beautiful time of year to be grateful and to count our blessings. And without my listeners, I wouldn't be where this should be. Without the support or the contribution of my listeners, maybe potentially the podcast wouldn't be as popular as it is or wouldn't have as many downloads. And so I'd also request that you please share this podcast with others that may benefit from it or need to hear these words that encourage, give hope, and allow people to believe that they can heal too, because this is the power of seeing it and hearing it from others. And Juliet, our next guest, is a huge testament to this, but then also so is Noah, who recently shared some pictures with me of his before and after from alopecia universalis to full hair growth. So don't think that it's not possible for you, because it is. Your body's just waiting for you to support it, to understand how to do it, and to eliminate alopecia once and for all. So here we go with the podcast. Thanks so much. So tell me, first off, I want to congratulate you for seeing the amount of hair growth that you've seen in just 3 weeks. It's been alopecia universalis to hair growth and to seeing so many different changes. Your end of program survey was just so beautifully written and done and really thorough. And so I just wanted to hear your full story, share it to our listeners, and then also see if there was anything that you'd like to add and to really showcase, because I want to put a spotlight on you so that other people think and know that they can do it too.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Truly, this program has changed my life. I really was, especially mood-wise, I feel like that's where I'd like to start, because I was in such a darker place, and I did not realize just how far this program would bring me mentally, spiritually, physically. I was hoping that it would help my hair to grow, but it not only did that, but it just has shaped my whole outlook on life. And what's really given me a rejuvenation of just having a new, fresh set of eyes, essentially. Before this, I was sorry, I'm like...
No, don't be sorry. Don't ever be sorry for emotions. I get choked up all the time. It's all good.
So yeah, I really thought I would be bald forever. This was just like 6 months ago is when it really all fell out. And like I detailed to you before, I had dealt with a little bit of alopecia before a few years ago, back in 2016. And it was pretty bad in the back, but like I was in like a bad place with a roommate and this and that, and in college, and there was a lot of stress going on. I was in like an intensive art program. So that was a lot for me and my brain, but I was able to grow it back all on my own. I like moved out of the toxic living situation, and that was that. And so when it started happening again, I was like, oh, it's just going to be like last time. I'm never going to get to the point where I'm fully bald. But it happened, and I wish that I found your program sooner so that I didn't have to get to this point. But like I said in my survey, I'm a strong believer in everything happening for a reason. And I think that it had to get to the point where it got in order for me to find you and have all these realizations. And I just have grown a lot through this. So thank you. And I have in these 3 weeks, like really in these 8 weeks, but in the first 3 weeks, there's just been like so much growth, like along my eyelash line, my eyebrows, like around my head. There's still some spots, but like you said, I think it grows like in where mine has been growing in where it last fell out first, and the spots where it fell out first, that definitely is still like a bit smooth. I'm feeling like I'm on the right path there.
It's a beautiful tidbit of information that, if you don't mind that I share a bit, is that your aunt had brought you into the program. She is also doing the program, and you two have this in common. Therefore, it was her who said, hey, let's do this. And you both decided to do it together, which is, I think, a beautiful thing. The other situation is that when you were on the fence a little bit, you had mentioned that you saw right next to a storefront that had your name on it, my name on it too. And I thought that was, wow, that was so like the universe is speaking to you right then and there. This is what you have to do. And I believe in signs. I believe in coincidences. I believe in circumstances of that nature. I've lived them myself in my own life in many ways too, where sometimes you're on the fence. You don't know what decision to make, whether it's taking a job or doing a program or even, who to marry or whatnot. And then all of a sudden it's bright, shining. You can't turn away. You can't deny this. This is the path. This is what you have to do. And when I read that, I was like, wow, I loved reading that. And it's a beautiful thing when it comes full circle. I remember you telling me within like the first call, the first week or two, where many of your ailments and ancillary conditions were just annihilated, just completely gone. And out of privacy, I won't mention them, but just like many things were gone and just completely disappeared. And you couldn't even imagine that with some things that would take you months to rectify and to get a hold of were just done.
In a week. I was shocked by that. Like just with the diet alone, like that, it was amazing, seriously.
And please help the listeners to understand if this program is just diet or if it's more than diet, because I can say it, but maybe hearing it from somebody else, maybe they'll understand that A, it's more than diet, and B, that diet alone is not going to do this. Diet alone is not going to heal you.
Diet alone, it's not just the diet at all. It's absolutely mind, body, and spirit all in tandem. It's definitely not just diet, but all of it like really works hand in hand. And you have found the perfect formula, like for obviously it's different for everyone and it's like a different path for every person. But yeah, it's definitely not just diet. It's a full, almost overwhelming, like all the changes, but it's all for the better.
And you've been a very diligent student, so I commend you on that. And of course, the results show for that. The other thing I wanted to ask you, Juliet, is with all these ahas and eye openings and new perspectives, where do you see yourself in the next year? Let's say, since we're already at the end of the year, it's 2023, it's October, almost November, where this is the time where we start evaluating ourselves, where we start analyzing, okay, what do I want to do? What do I envision for myself? What do I want to bring into my life? Where am I going from here? So where are you going from here?
So I really am like visualizing a lot. Like in my meditation, I'm like visualizing my hair and being like, grow, you're going to grow. Like in this time next year, I would love to have a full head of hair. And I'm really like shooting for that as far as my hair growth goes. Just obviously still staying really diligent with the program and what I've learned from you, but also just personally and trying to make just a lot better choices for myself in every choice that I have to make. I did learn that it really is about being the best parent to yourself. Life is just days, and days really are just a makeup of all of your choices for yourself. And just focusing on doing what's right for me. And like you said, I'm a big believer in signs and synchronicities and really following where the universe is telling me to go. And a lot of that is opening up your intuition and opening up to be in the right mind frame, in the right spaces to observe those signs and go where you're supposed to go to then. I also really admire what you do. And I'd love to be able to figure out what it is that my purpose in life is to be able to give back and help a lot of people. So that's where I'm at going toward the future. I also am an actress. So obviously losing my hair was like definitely hard for that. And there's a lot going on with the strike and everything now, but I just have a fresh set of eyes. Before I started this program, I was feeling very depressed, like being in a career path that definitely is all about the way you look and the way you present yourself. And before I started this program, I was doubting if I could even still go through with that, and not even just with acting, but like all the different artistic endeavors that I do. But now I've learned a lot that my confidence and my beauty comes from within, and the discipline and like proving to myself that I can grow my hair and that I'm so powerful, that creates even more beauty inside of like beauty that I can see inside of me that's not surface. And I know I have a lot to give the world. And I am just excited to continue my path and just figure out where I'll go from here. But I have much more of a positive perspective. And it's also like my birthday season and obviously the new year. So I'm doing a lot of just reworking, vision boarding, planning for the future, and just hoping for the best.
Good for you. Good for you. Vision boarding, that's a big one. I'm actually going to do a podcast here soon about that because funny enough, after, as I mentioned before, I used to live in Japan. And before that, I was living in Europe. And so I packed up the little that I kept from my last home, which was in Denver. And all of a sudden, it's this old vision board that was there. I open it up. Kid you not, everything on it has been accomplished except for one or two things. And my husband was astonished. My husband was astonished by it. And that's the power of envisioning yourself. That's the power of seeing something on a daily basis of what we're retraining and teaching our subconscious, what we are really aiming for. Just because we aim for more hair growth, if we're not going to do anything and just sit on our laurels and just wait and see and be on the fence, then nothing happens. But if we like envision it, we take action, then of course we're going to see the fruits of our labor. And so you're a huge testament to that. I wanted to ask you, before learning about me, before talking to your aunt, before when you were in that dark spot, did you ever have any thought, feeling, or knowledge of being able to heal naturally, being able to do this on your own, being able to just heal? Because clearly doctors and internet and whatnot says it's not possible.
There was like a twinge of a voice in my head. I know you talk a lot about how you had like a voice in your head the whole time being like, I'm not going to go fully bald. Like I'm going to heal through this. And although I was definitely in a darker spot, I would have a lot of my lowness and my like darker thoughts saying, no, like you can't heal. Because also there's nothing online. I also have told you that I spent a lot of time on various apps and social media viewing anyone who ever had posted anything about alopecia. I wanted to know their story and what they've been through. And there's really nobody talking about how you can heal naturally. Some people talking about how you should take the natural route for autoimmune diseases, but really nothing about hair growth. Like it really has felt like alopecia was like a death sentence to my hair. Like you're bald now and that's going to be the rest of your life. And right before, like I said, so I was living in California. Once I lost all my hair, I decided to come back to be more with my family. And that was definitely rejuvenating for my spirit. It was about like a month before I had heard of you. And this kind of was like another little like sign. I was thinking in my head, like, it's funny because I remember my dermatologist when they would give me the steroid shots and this and that, I had said to them, I haven't been eating so well. Do you think I should change my diet? And I was talking to them about different vices I had. And they had said to me, no, absolutely not. If you change anything about what you're doing now, it's just going to get worse down the line. And that is just so opposite of what I've learned from you. In my head, I knew that, how I was living and how I was eating was obviously an effect of, my hair, because the hair falling out proved to me that I was unhealthy, something was awry in my body. So that was one thing. But then a couple months before I did the program, I, upon myself, was like, okay, I need to do a detox. I need to do these cleanses. I need to change my diet. I need to cut out sugar. I was having these kind of thoughts, but I could not have gotten here to the point I am without you. There's obviously so much information that starting from square one to heal holistically or naturally, especially when there's really nothing on the internet helping you specifically for hair growth. I feel like it would have taken me years and years. But all that to say, yes, I did have a bit of an inkling in my head, a little whisper saying, you can do this, like you can heal in some way. And I also was very much not going to go the big pharma route and go with like a couple other doctors had told me you really should go on Illuminin or whatever it's called, the JAK inhibitors, you should really do that. And I just wasn't. And I wasn't going to go that route. So I didn't think that it would happen this quickly. And I didn't know if full hair growth was going to be an option. But then my aunt happened to reach out to me, which was crazy. And she was like, I'm thinking of doing this like holistic program. And I was like, that's exactly what I would love That's just what I was hoping you would say. And then, like I said, I listened to your podcast. I wasn't sure if the timing was exactly right or if I had the money, or I just was like, I don't know right now. But then I had that experience with the storefront where my name was there and then your name was there. And I was like, absolutely, it's happening. Thank you, universe. Here we go. And I'm so glad I did.
This totally brings tears to my eyes because it's such a beautiful thing, the journeys we all have as humans, as adults. And on top of it, you're so young. Granted, I work with a lot of young people, a lot of 20-somethings or people who are college students going into their 20s and this type of thing. And it's such a pivotal time of your life. It really is. It's like, why would you want to harm it with JAK inhibitors? Why would you want to set yourself up for failure on many levels going that route? But on top of it, it's such a beautiful time too, because the sky's the limit. And not to say that at your 60s or 70s or even 80s, the sky's not the limit. It is. It still is. You can still try and start to do anything. My grandma started to do Pilates at 75. It's never too late to just start doing something for you, for your health, for your hair, for your happiness, for whatever it is that you want to achieve. I highly believe it's never not possible. Just the opposite. It's about the desire and the will and the want, right? That we all have. But you have such a beautiful story and the evolution and then how I come into play. It's just such a beautiful thing. And it really warms my heart to not just talk to you, but actually a couple of days ago, I spoke to another mom and her son who's in college right now. And I started working with him when he was 16 and now he's 18. He also went from alopecia universalis to full hair growth. I see a drastic change in him, but then also in you. When I first talk to clients versus at the end of the program, at the end of their journey, it's such a beautiful, like full circle. This young boy, he's 18. When I first met him, he was like in the back with a hoodie, a shell of himself, completely shy. But for some situation happenstance, we had connected and he told his mom, I want to work with her. And so then his mom is actually a pharmacist and she didn't want to go the drug route, knowing what all those things cause. And so then we started working and then he got full hair growth. And now I see him and he's glowing. He's happy. He's extrovert, the full hair. He's got swag. He's like such a beautiful time. And it's just, this is what the opportunity when parents or when young adults such as yourself decide on taking control of their health happens. And this is what it does. It really empowers you to take reign so that you can live the best life ever. Because from here, now it's all the way up. Now you know what to do and boom, it's just like sky's the limit for you, just like it is for this other young person and everyone else who does the program. And it just brings so much emotion to me because I get to see it. I'm the lucky one who gets to see the transformation, who gets to talk to all of you. And then on top of it, cheer you on and then help you through. And like I said, you've been a fantastic student and the results show for themselves, but then also it's the want. And I think that's the beauty of it all. Is there anything that you would like to mention to listeners who haven't done the program or people who may be on the fence or anyone else who doubts their own natural abilities to heal?
All I can say, yes, I would like to. We are so much more powerful than I feel like we're led to believe. And I think that you really are such a guide through this program and such a positive light. Like you're literally like a little cheerleader being like, yes, you can do this, like in the group meetings. But it is really, you can, like you say, you can go so far with the diet. You can go so far with taking the supplements, but that's only going to go so far if you don't believe in yourself. And that's half the equation right there. As to why the program is so influential is that it shows you that you have to be committed. And I know you've said this in your podcast where you can go as slow or as fast as you want. You can be like baby steps with it, or you can fly like soaring colors with it. And that really is to show that it is about the power of your own mind and the power of your own personhood. And I think that you, by doing this, will surprise yourself. I even surprised myself. I really didn't think that I'd be able to get out of my doom and gloom of losing all of my hair, and which was traumatic, like you said, especially as a young person, especially in a field where your income is directly tied to the way you are and are viewed. It definitely was like a tidal wave of mood swings and emotions and how did this happen to me and why is this is going to be the rest of my life. And this program has just absolutely proved me that doesn't have to be the case and that we're so much more powerful than we're led to believe. And it really is like most of your mind is the subconscious mind, and it's really about reprogramming all you've been told. And if you keep having that negative thought, being like, you're going to be bald the rest of your life. You're not going to get well, like this and that. It's not going to work out for you. Even if you do the diet and the supplements and this and that, like truly half the equation is your own outlook on your life. So you help as a guide, but really you in the you, the person doing this program, are in the driver's seat, and you got to believe to be able to really see the results.
That's so true. 100%. You really do have to believe. Anything else? Any last words? Anything else that you'd like to share?
I would just say, do the program. Seriously, don't think twice. Really, it was such a life-changing. I'm so glad that you entered my life in the time that you did, and it's really going to change your life. I can't recommend it enough.
Thank you. Thank you, Juliet. That's very kind, very sweet of you. And I wish you and your aunt, of course, nothing but the best. And of course, I would want to, stay in touch, keep us updated on your progress, on how everything goes, on the next premiere where I could see you at, this type of thing.
Sounds good. You as well. I want to keep in touch with you too.
Excellent.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.